Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
I can think of no other player on the 49ers that embodies what this team is about more than Emmanuel Moseley. And that's why we got him number 15 overall on the 49ers roster countdown for 2022. Because here's the thing. Undrafted free agent, okay? Like, that's not enough. A converted quarterback, right, from Tennessee. So, undrafted free agent, gets waived, cut, goes on the practice squad for a year. A year later, he's starting in the Super Bowl. And has lived, he's been incredible, and his career is just this. It's just ascending. And it goes to show you, one of the reasons that I think the 49ers are different than a lot of teams in the NFL. They are a meritocracy. It's not about where you're drafted. It's not about what you're paid. It's not about what your name recognition or what college you went to. That's not what it is. You got to fight. You got to claw. And if you prove it, you can be the guy. And that's exactly what Emmanuel Moseley is. Wears jersey number 4. I love it whenever they changed the jersey regulations last year. There was a very brief moment where the 49ers secondary was 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't last, not even one full game, sadly. But 4 for Emmanuel Moseley. He's 5'11", 190, undersized for sure, 26 years old, and is going into his 5th season with the 49ers. Grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina, played at James B. Dudley High School, and was a 3-star recruit. Now, he chose Tennessee, the Volunteers, but man, I remember, I think it was before the 2020 season. Hey man, why not? Let's just put it up there. I did a little bit of a highlight tape of Emmanuel Moseley, so I'm going to put that up there. You'll see him on the yellow dot. I mean, just again, from undrafted free agent to starting the Super Bowl to getting another contract, and this is a contract year for him. He's getting paid by somebody probably not going to be the 49ers with the cornerback depth that they have assembled long-term, but man, he's good enough that if the 49ers could bring him back long-term, I'd be so freaking happy. Now, going back to what he did in high school, which is incredible. 2-way starter. He was an all-state quarterback, led his team to a state championship. Listen to this. 47 total touchdowns at quarterback, 28 tackles, 4 interceptions at corner, and rushed for 1,400 yards. Like, true dual threat. I mean, he just went out and lit the world on fire. Went 15-0 as a senior. Won the Class 4A state title in North Carolina State Championship. Outstanding player of the game. 2013 Player of the Year. I mean, you can just go on and on. Player of the district, player of the conference. And didn't get recruited big because he was undersized, small. Didn't have the strongest arm. So he originally committed to Charlotte, but then changed in September his senior year, and received the Keenan Athletic Scholarship Fund for Tennessee, which was awesome. Played in every single game for Tennessee in the 4 years he was there. Just stepped in and shined as a corner. Undersized for sure. And whenever he first went to Tennessee, he was like, as a senior, he was like 140 pounds and then jumped up to like 170. Now, I mean, he's undersized. Like, his body is maxed out at 190. There's no doubt about it. But you like the size that he's at now. Like, you're fine with that. No NFL team's going to be like, he's too small. He's on the light side, but it shows whenever he plays. I mean, he can tackle. He's fierce. He gets in there, doesn't miss a lot of tackles. And outside of football, his talents are singing, dancing, and playing the piano. So very well-rounded individual for sure. And again, this is a player, the 49er way, baby. Undrafted free agent to starter to second contract to now he's a pivotal piece of the 49ers 2022 season. And he's playing ahead of a lot of big names, whether, you're talking to Ambry Thomas, Jason Verrett. He's ahead of those guys. He's going to be starting week 1, almost guaranteed, opposite Charvarius Ward. Now, he has had some injuries. None of them major, but if you go back to September 2020, he had a concussion, missed 2 games. December 2020, had a hamstring issue, missed 2 games. September 21, knee strain, missed 2 games. December 2021, high ankle sprain, cost him the second half of one of the playoff games. Or towards the playoff games. And again, like, injuries are going to happen. He is a smaller player, but you're talking about somebody that never missed a game in college Two, he's had a couple small nagging soft, tissue issues in his career, but nothing too extreme. But again, practice squad, undrafted free agent, cut to practice squad to finding his way on the roster. And after that, you couldn't keep him out. You just couldn't. And he's going to get a long-term deal somewhere. He signed a 2-year, $10.1 million deal last year. So this is the last year of that deal. He's going to be getting $10+ million next year somewhere. Even if he doesn't improve, if Emmanuel Moseley just plays the exact same way he played in 2021, he's getting $10+ million next year somewhere. I mean, he's going to get paid. Now, whenever he came out of college, he ran a 4.4240, incredible, 6.843 cone, 38.5-inch vertical. And, I'm going through and I'm trying to find a metric because he didn't go to the combine, so that doesn't pull up. And the closest player I could find, not a cornerback, Odell Beckham Jr., almost the exact same height, weight, speed, agility, all those things, like exact same metrics. Now, is he, that athletic? I guess he is, but obviously there's some differences. But as far as athletic profile, Odell Beckham Jr., they're very, very similar body type, build, makeup, all those things. Now, if we look at what he's accomplished for the 49ers, 2018, it played one game, made one tackle. That was when he was a practice squad, got called up for one game. Then he comes back, and that was it. No more practice squad for him. 16 games, 2019, 9 starts, 1 interception, 8 pass breakups, 50 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. 2020, 12 games, 8 starts, 1 interception, 9 pass breakups, 47 tackles. Last year, 11 games, 11 starts, 11 pass breakups. He averaged a pass breakup per game, which that's pretty intense. That is very intense. 1 fumble recovery last year, 42 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and had a key interception. And again, if you just look at we talked about his journey. Listen to these dates. Right after the draft, May 1st, 2018, signed as an undrafted free agent. September 1st, gets waived on the final cut down day. That clears waivers. September 2nd, the very next day, they bring him on the practice squad. They wait till November 1st, 2018 to make him on the active roster, and he's stayed since. Signed his 2-year, $10.1 million extension in March of 2021. And if you look at his career earnings, again, this is kind of the trajectory of undrafted free agents. If you're an undrafted free agent, this is what you hope happens in your career. He's got $5.8 million career earnings. Now, that will jump, if he's able to play throughout this whole year, to 10.7. He's going to double his career earnings this year in light of another huge contract from probably another team. I keep saying that. I don't think the 49ers are going to be able to pay him his market value long term, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing because he's going to get paid somewhere. The 49ers will get, if he signs for $10 million, 49ers are going to be getting a 4th or 5th round compensation pick back in return. That's great return on value for an undrafted free agent. You got him for 5 years, let him move on, let him do his thing. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a win-win-win for all involved, and that's kind of what you're hoping for. Again, I want the Niners to keep him. I want them to keep everybody, but if you look at the numbers at the corner position with all those young rookies that they keep drafting, eventually you're going to have to let some guys go, and he's going to get paid. 28 career starts, played in 40 games in his career. Now, again, just compiling the entirety of the stats from his entire career, and if you look at it, the numbers are great. 3 interceptions, 1 every single year. 28 pass breakups, 11 last year in 11 games. That's sick. 1 fumble recovery, 140 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 1 quarterback hit. But let's hone in on last year. Those 11 starts. 807 snaps, 11 pass breakups. I can't highlight that enough. 1 pass breakup per game is uncanny. 1 touchdown allowed, had 1 interception, 17 solo stops, really good for an outside corner. 60% catch rate allowed. Really good. He fits the mold of the 49ers defensive philosophy. Make it difficult for people to catch the ball. Some teams value corners with turnovers. That's not really the 49ers MO. They only had 9 total interceptions last year, one of the worst in the NFL. That's not what they want. They want tighter windows for the quarterback to throw it into. They want difficulty of a reception, not necessarily a high turnover of reception. And that's what Emmanuel Moseley, Charvarius Ward, Jason Verrett, that's what those guys can accomplish. 78 NFL passer rating allowed last year, which was the best for every single 49er, except for Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward's just different, and the safety position is a little different anyway. But if you're just looking at the corners, whether it's inside, outside, doesn't matter. He allowed the lowest NFL passer rating last year. He's starting opposite Charvarius Ward week 1. That's all there is to it. Now, once Jason Verrett gets healthy, perhaps that's a competition, but it's almost impossible to get Moseley out of the lineup. He's too consistent. And again, that's what the 49ers value. Whether you look at Samson Ebukam, right? No negative plays. That dude starts. You look at Drake Greenlaw. Not a lot of negative plays. That dude starts. That's what they want. They value it all over their defense. Consistency over splash. And that's what Moseley is. And so, again, he is going to be the starter this year. There's no doubt about it. Good luck trying to unseat him as a starter. The only way you can do so is injury. And he's had a couple of those nagging ones, but contract year, it matters to players. The motivation that people have and bring to sport or work or jobs or whatever, it doesn't matter. Fill in the blank. It's going to drive you, whatever. But whenever you add in, this dude's going to double his entire NFL salary this year if he stays healthy and plays, plus a contract next year. This dude's got 15 million reasons on the line for balling out this year. And that little extra motivation, I will take it on a player that has grinded his way to the front of the 49ers lineup. And that's why we got him number 15. Undrafted free agent to 15th most important player for this season. I think that says a lot. And I'm betting on this kid. I believe in him. I believe in the makeup. I believe in the person. I believe in the human. I believe in the player. Excited for what's to come for Emmanuel Moseley. Want to take a second to say thank you. Thank you so much, Josh and Anthony, executive producers of this whole series. All this background work, they're crushing it. And for us, we're just going to keep counting them down.